Hey everyone, it is Evan here from the Trade Risk on Wednesday, April 22nd. We are intraday right now, and this is our weekly swing trade ideas video where we bring you some of the names from our watch list, stocks that are holding up well, showing some relative strength, and ideally are not yet too extended in their move. As always, these videos are powered by our partners over at Investors Business Daily. We curate ideas from their stock lists. You can get access to their stock lists with a link in the description of this video. So we got loosely five names we are looking at today. Three of them are sort of a package deal theme that I'm noticing out there. But, really to kick off the top of this video, it was really difficult to find interesting names this week. In fact, there wasn't too many stocks that are really catching my eye right here. Even to come up with 3, 4, 5 names is generally pretty easy. And there really wasn't a whole lot from a classical technical perspective here. Most of the names that are working are either names everybody knows about, or they've extended and they've ran quite a bit. So I think that in itself speaks to some of the mixed conditions out there in the market overall. And of course, we did talk about a lot of those in yesterday's market recap video. So with that said, let's jump into some names here. The first one is a duplicate. This is exactly from last week, which I don't like to show back-to-back same stocks, but now ServiceNow is still one of the more actionable kind of pent-up patterns here, and this comes from IBD's watch list, and you can see it's basically working right along sideways, right along this resistance area around 301. It still hasn't been able to break out. It's just moving sideways, but quite frankly, when I look across, again, the spectrum here, this one looks pretty actionable if we can start to clear over these recent highs, if we start getting a close, over 304, and we can start getting this trend continuation and a breakout of this range and the old highs back here from 2019, then I think this one suddenly starts to look good. So for all the same reasons we sort of mentioned in last week's video for NOW, I still think it's one of the best out there in terms of actionable potential momentum breakout ideas. Now, number two is another popular name. This comes from IBD's list, VEEV, V-E-E-V. We've talked about this multiple times in the past. It has run much further than when we last talked about it, but I still want to highlight it from just a very strong technical perspective here. And especially if we're zooming out on the weekly time frame, you can see really, you have the old high that it's clearing back from in 2019. Most of the supply and sort of breakout occurred over this 160 level. So VEEV looking quite strong here. And again, I just want to highlight the length of this base in here. So again, this was fueling up for about 10 months or so, 9 months inside of this range, and it's starting to get going now. Of course, it's beyond started. It certainly started over here. It's now sort of extending back up towards these highs. But again, from a longer term, more so to like a trend following position trading basis here, you really have to like this stock. It's one of the best looking out there especially from that longer term horizon. So that's number two, a familiar name. And then from our watch list, really what's sticking out here is gold. And again, a lot of these names aren't new ralliers, right? Gold has been working, and gold miners, I should say, have been working now for a few weeks. But I just want to highlight, again, some of the technical strength and patterns that are persisting here. So an FNV, for instance, you can see has been in this series of higher lows and higher highs for a few weeks now. It just went up and went sideways for about 5 or 6 days, and now it's breaking out to let's see, are those all-time highs? Yes, it is all-time highs in this case. So nice, actionable, tight sort of breakout move there. They're a bit extended, but still, working themselves higher a bit more methodically. DRD, here's just another instance of them. These are all going to look pretty similar. Again, in the gold space, you can see has been working itself higher. This one trying to clear above all-time highs from 2016. So again, nice tight pattern starting to work higher again here today. EGO, EGO, this one here, El Dorado Gold, nowhere near highs, but working itself back over some of the supply in here. Again, if you go to a weekly chart, you can see this one has a much longer history, but it's starting to work back over through these 2019 levels, and it's trying to continue here after this recent consolidation. So quite frankly, there are many names here in this space, in the mining space, that look pretty similar. Momentum is persisting, and in terms of actionable ideas, they are pretty they're pretty much at the top of the list here on a relative basis. That certainly I find interesting. So that's it. That's the video. Pretty light this week, slim pickings in terms of quality, new, fresh candidates that are holding up well. But hopefully you find something there that's interesting. And of course, make sure these names fit your time frame, your strategy, your objectives, and fit in your market view right now. If you're not looking for long ideas, then these are certainly going to be watch list only candidates that obviously you wouldn't be selecting right now to put on exposure. So that's it for me. Thanks as always. Every Wednesday, swing trade ideas just like this. You can subscribe on our YouTube channel or follow us at The Trade Risk. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you back here on Friday for the market recap video.